Hey guys, this is Andy McCann here to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finance. And today we're going to go over the workouts and what we do. We haven't done this in a while. I thought it would be interesting to see, hey, why do we do what we do and how are we following it and what should really matter? And how does it get into the system? So I'm going to walk you through that. Some of this is going to be a whole lot better if you were watching it on YouTube, but I'll talk you through it. So again, it's going to be how it comes into our system. Why do we follow CAP, CrossFit Affiliate Programming? Why do we do it the way we do it? Why do I edit or change the things that I do? And what's the point behind it all? So the magic of the system is really just show up. If you show up 4 or 5 days a week, even if you half-ass it and let me adjust your food a tiny bit, you're going to have a huge success. So our job is to help you look good naked and become harder to kill. And that's why we do what we do. It leans into that. Yes, it is true. If you just lifted with hypertrophy, you would be stronger faster, but you would give up cardio, endurance, stamina, coordination, balance, all these other things, right? If you just went out for a jog and you did that every day, you would give up strength and muscle stamina and so forth, right? So doing one is okay if that's all you want, but we're greedy, we want it all. We want the 10 physical attributes, right? And then in the end, it's speed and power. What is speed and power? It's to be able to do what you want, when you want, whenever you want. And that's why we do CrossFit. CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity sometimes. And I put the sometimes in there because you can't burn it down every day. You're eventually going to be super tired. And you need some recovery. Especially if you're like me, you're almost 52, then recovery is a smart thing to go after. Okay. So this will be a kind of a stream of conscious, like how I would go throughout the week. And I'm going to jump into each of the days so that you can see what we're doing and I can give you some explanations. Okay, so first off, we track our workouts. We want you to add stuff and we want you to be able to see what's going on. In order to do that, I need to actually adjust what they give us. So CrossFit Affiliate Programming, let me grab the URL. It looks like this. So I have it on another tab on the other side if you're watching the video. But CrossFit says, hey, you follow us. We do programming for the affiliates. Let us help you by creating a smart, well-thought-out program that doesn't have any bias. So if I did it, I would totally bias. Like I would never do Turkish get-ups. I just don't like them. And so they would just never come up. So they put this together and I do a tiny bit of adjusting, pretty much like, well, it's so minor that it really wouldn't matter or change anybody's, like what you're actually doing. But you'll see in a second. So I'm gonna put in the date. Right here we have Monday, November 3rd. So when I do this, I'm always 2 weeks ahead. So this is why some people are like, hey, what's the workout today or tomorrow? I'm like, I don't even know because I'm ahead of you guys in watching what's going on. All right, so they've got this programmed out. It's a heavy day. It's 5x5 back squat. This technically should take us 2.5 hours, but we only have an hour, and so we're going to do it a bit faster. So CrossFit is never moving into hypertrophy, which again, this would take 2.5 hours if we did just a 5x5 back squat. We're going to do it CrossFit style, which means we're going to move with a bit more intensity. So it says that all reps should be done at 70% of your 1 rep max. But what if I don't know 1 rep max? That's okay. Use today to kind of figure out some of that stuff. If you don't know your 1 rep max, what I would look at is I'm trying to get to the 5th set and fail the very last lift or come very close to it. So maybe it's I do a set of 5, a set of 5, a set of 5, a set of 5, and then a set of 4. But I tried for the 5th one. It was just too heavy. I was too tired or whatever. That's good. That means you're actually pushing against the boundaries of success, and that's what you want to see. Now, when you log this, you would not write in there, I did 5 sets of 5 at this weight. You would pick either the last 5 set of 5 you did or change it to 1 set of 4 at whatever weight you did. So that way it logs for you correctly. So some of this is try to help you guys understand how to input your data. So I'll kind of go through that in, actually, let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys so you can see it. Let me think about how I would make that work. Can I do it like this? I just click on that and say, boom. Yep, there you go. Cool. That'll pull up an extension. All right. I'm going to jump into Monday the 3rd on Wodify. So I click on it and then hit edit. And it's going to bring me into a 5-day outlook. Now, I get 5 days because I'm using a bigger screen, so I get to see everything. Note, usually on Monday and the 1st of the month, so whatever the first day of the month is, they're going to give you a video about what November is. So if you're using your app, your cell phone, You can see that video too. Go ahead and look at it. Now, the coach's video and your video may be slightly different, and that's okay. It's going to give you the same basic stuff, except for the coaching, it might, add a couple bits and pieces. Okay, so typically what I'm going to do, my coaches have said, I don't like to see the warm-up on the board. It gets too crowded, so I take that off. So immediately I go in and I delete out every single warm-up. Now, it's still in the system in the sense that if they were to click on coach's notes, they can see the warm-up. It's just not going to appear on the whiteboard, so it's less cluttery. I probably don't have to do that because we can scroll up and down, but everyone said, hey, just take it out, so I do. Okay, so the next thing, this 5x5 back squat. I don't have to change anything on that one. If I click on it, it's going to show me. Can I see that on the screen? Yeah. So it's going to show me, hey, it's set to back squat. So when we log the results, we're going to see that, and it's set to 5x5. So cool. I'm going to hit cancel on that one. There's nothing I can do in terms of RX, intermediate, or anything like that because everybody's doing the exact same thing, right? So that is just going to be the workout for everybody. We do 5 sets of back squats, and we'll be done with it. Now, they do give me extra information, which I don't know exactly where this would go for them, but if you wanted to do more things, they have like, I don't know, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more things on Monday that I guess you could put throughout the week, or maybe it's part of a different program. I don't know. So I just delete those out. One of them was some extra clean and jerks, a strength 2, a shoulder press cycle, a skill 1, and a stamina. So that's extra stuff that, I mean, no other day has it. What is it there for? I actually don't even know. Maybe you could click it and drag it out. What I do know is that when the CrossFit programmer builds this, they hand it to somebody else who then enters it into Wodify, and then Wodify will blast it out to all the gyms, all the CrossFit affiliates that are using it. So sometimes the person entering it doesn't even know why they enter it. We've actually had some communication thanks to Sharon and Paul. I threw some notes back up to them and say, hey, you could probably do this a different way and help us out. And they tried, and then they said, nah, never mind, it's too much work or something. I don't know. So they don't do it. Okay. So I see this skill work. We have a post-workout finisher, so I'm going to leave that right there, and there's some stretching. There's always an at-home option too, so you could do basically what we do at home. Now, if you don't have a rig, it's like, hey, we expect you to have some sort of dumbbells, and we're going to change it into lunges. So that one's good. Now, what I will do is go over to the CrossFit or the CrossFit affiliate programming, and I will grab the intended stimulus. Now, this one says right here, and this is going to be key for later on, it's compared to what we did in August 13th, 2025. Now, because it's called back squat, it is not linked to the August 13th, 2025. What it is linked to is all the back squats you have ever done. So if I'm in, let me actually finish this piece out. So I took that, I copied it. I'm going to go back to the editor. I'm going to go to the back squat, and I'm going to paste in the stimulus, the stimulus. So we want you to hit the stimulus. Look at 70% of your 1 rep max, and it says all sets at 70% or more of your 1 rep max. So you can go up and weight if you want to. Maybe you're stronger, maybe you feel weaker. I don't know, but that's their goal. So the intended stimulus is really what you should be shooting for. Doing RX or intermediate, it's just numbers they have to put on the board. If they could program it with just intended stimulus, they would, but they can't. They can't just put that in there. Actually, did it go away? It did. Why did it go away? Did it not? Oh, it's saved. There it is. Okay. So my intended stimulus is now in there, and so when the coaches read it off the board, they're going to see it. All right. This next one gets a little bit more complicated. Tuesday, it is a 600-meter run, 100 double unders, 15 strict pull-ups, a 400-meter run, 75 single unders, 12 strict pull-ups, 200-meter run, 50 double unders, 9 strict pull-ups. And then there's intermediate, there's a beginner, and there's a masters. We don't bother with the beginners and masters. The beginners is so scaled and modified that I probably only one person would ever do it, and it's not worth tracking because we're going to move past that pretty quick. So what the coaches should say is something like, hey, pick one of these two, RX or intermediate, and if you have to scale up or down, that's okay. Just remember where you started from and log it into that section. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to grab this whole thing here, and well, actually the intermediate section, and I'm going to copy it out into a new section. So I will say, actually, you know what? Let me shrink this down so it's not so massive. This thing is huge. So I'm going to go in there and just simply delete out for right now the, well, it didn't do it. There we go. So this deletes out everything but the RX and the intermediate. I'm going to go ahead and tag it at the top. I'm going to call it, it's the way they name it is 25 for the year, 2025, right? And then the 11th and the 4th day. So it's November 4th, 2025. So their naming convention is a little bit weird. But anyway, so there I've added RX, and that's going to be the RX workout. I am going to go to the CrossFit affiliate page. I'm going to click to the next day. I'm going to grab their stimulus, copy and paste it, and I am going to put it in here underneath the intermediate, and then I'm going to copy out or cut out the intermediate. So I'm going to cut it. It's gone. I've got scaled written, and I have a dot now. The dot is RX Plus. I want everything to have that in case we ever want to add RX Plus. If you don't have it in there as a placeholder, then it won't know to put it in there later on. So I have to have it now, right? And it is 4 times. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to grab a one-time exercise, drag it over. I'm going to paste in the intermediate. And then I am going to grab the name here. And I'm going to paste the name in, but change it from RX to int. So now I have intermediate. And it was 4 times. I'm going to change the scoring for time. And scaled, as written, and the dot. The dot, again, is for 1 day. If we ever want to put an RX Plus in there, you can. Or if you did it and then you did extra, you could go ahead and log that. Pretty much nobody uses that one right now. Because we have the different options, you really only need as written or scaled. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So right now, the way you're looking at this, I've got 2 different workouts, an RX version and an intermediate version. But they're not saved in the system. This is just a one-time workout, and it will never save your data. I know it's weird, like, but Andy, wait, I thought this thing saved it. No, it didn't. So back in the beginning of October, here's what I decided to do because CrossFit wouldn't do it. I now go in there and I click this reuse button, and it says, hey, do you want to reuse this workout and call it 251104 RX? Yes, that's what I want to call it. So now when they say, hey, you did this back on, I can find the workout really easy and I can grab it and bring it in. Then I'm going to also do the same thing, reuse, make it a named workout for intermediates. Now I got both of them set up. They're going to track your score. If we do this again, then I'll be able to link it back to this and you'll be able to see your performance, your growth. You'll get stars, right? Without doing this, you can't tell. The only way you can tell is when I do this thing right here. So I will grab a header and drop it in here, and I'm going to call it for reference only, or for reference. So you're not supposed to do this in part of the workout. It's in the workout already, and you're just going to log some of your data points. So it's, the workout has, let me, oh, you know what, it didn't, let me change that, hold on. Copy, paste, okay. So the workout has a 600 meter run, a 4 meter run, a 2 meter run. It's got some double unders and some strict pull-ups. So I'm going to add those things so that you guys can track more stuff. Okay. So I got for reference. The first thing, let's see if there's a 600 meter run built in there. 600 meter run. Yep. So I'm going to grab that, put it under here, and it's going to say, hey, it's going to be your max effort, right? So, or the time you got for a 600 meter run. Sure enough. We're going to do a 400, so maybe some of you guys, whoops, 1400, that's not right. Maybe some of you guys catch a 400 meter run, so I'm going to grab that and drag it over. So now we have the option to add in your 400 meter run time. And I can do the same thing. Should be able to do it for a 200 meter run. Yeah, there we go. Cool. We built that in there too. So if you catch your time, you can put it in there. Now I know you're like, well, Andy, it's part of the workout. I'm probably going to miss that. Yeah, I know. So if you care and you do it, then you can log it. You'll probably catch the 600 meter time because you're in and out and the clock is actually running right there. The rest of them, maybe not, but I'll give you the option. Then it says strict pull-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and grab pull-ups. And there's probably a strict option. Let's see, pull-ups, strict. Strict pull-ups. There we go. So are all of them strict? Double under, strict pull-ups. Yeah. So I'm going to grab strict pull-ups. I'm going to put it underneath the 200 meter run. And this is, hey, what was your biggest set? Again, it's just trying to give you a place to record your progress. Hey, I did 1. Perfect. Put 1 in there. I did 2. If you used this before, it's going to give you a star or a chart, right? To tell you, hey, look, you're moving along. You're doing great. Okay. The other thing in here is double unders and single unders, right? Double under or double under practice. Okay, so it's just double unders or double under practice. So we'll do some double unders, double Helen, double unders. There we go. We'll grab that, slide it in, and this is max attempt. So how many did you get in a row? It says you're supposed to do 100 double unders as RX or 50 double unders for intermediate. if you're doing them and you did 32, you type in 32. That was your biggest set. If you did 32, 33, and then 36 or whatever the remainder is, you would pick 36. That would be the biggest one you did. Or if you could go back in there, you could say, well, I did 3 sets of 30 or something like that. But that's not the way it's written. It's one max set. This is to help you gauge where you are so you can see the growth. If you track the data and log it, you're going to see where you're making those improvements. Or you might say to yourself, well, I really haven't improved in my double unders at all. Possibly I should give it some focus. Possibly, as a skill, I maybe should practice it. I think Kate and Rebecca did maybe 6 months. They did 5 minutes of double unders almost every day. And they now have pretty good double unders. They also did the same thing on pull-ups. So when you have a skill like pull-ups or ring muscle-ups or something like that, or bar muscle-ups, that needs to be practiced. When you have a strength deadlift, you're just going to get stronger over time. There's not as much to practice. Should you do them? Yes. Do you need to practice it as a core element? No, because it's basically just grab, squeeze, and stand, right? So there's not like a whole lot of stuff to trip you up. Okay, so now we've got the workouts built out. I've got the workout on Tuesday, RX and intermediate, and I've got the individual steps in there. Okay, and I said also, what would I do? How would I show you what I would do for this? Now, I know that my foot kind of hurts and my knee kind of hurts when I do double unders. So I'm probably already going to take the double unders out because of rule number 2. Rule number 1 is show up. Rule number 2 is don't do anything stupid today to prevent you from showing up tomorrow. So I look at this, I say it's 100 double unders, 75 and 50, so that's 250 double unders. Possibly could do that, but I'm also going to be running, and that kind of aggravates my knee a little bit too and my foot. And I'd rather do the run. I need to do that for the adventure race I'm doing. So I'm going to take the double unders out. Because I'm taking it out, am I going to then drop down the strict pull-ups? So strict pull-ups, so I got 15, 12, and 9. I can do strict pull-ups, so I'm okay with that. They're not that terrible. I would probably do maybe like 2 or 3 at a time because I know if I do a set of 10, I'm out. I won't be able to do that anymore. Now, knowing that I've got a big run, let's see, a 400 meters is probably going to take, 2 minutes? So yeah, maybe I would do a big set and then just try to chunk out the little ones. So yeah, I might take that back. So knowing that I'm going to go 600 meters and then do something double unders, which is going to be shoulder intensive. So I got to come up with something that kind of aims at the shoulders and a little bit, it's fast and kind of sucks a little bit. So maybe what I would do is just a bar press. So take a bar and do some presses. 100 double unders should take, it shouldn't take that long, less than 30 seconds. So I would probably do 30 seconds of pressing and see how long that takes me. Or as I run in, see someone doing double unders and then capture, hey, I'm going to press until they're done. And that's going to be the number that I know I can hit. And then I can do the math as I go. So it's just 175 and 50. So I'm going to reduce it some. I'm already out of RX. I'm scaled. So it doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to do is hit this intended stimulus. You go back and look and say, hey, I should be done with this between 10 and 15 minutes. Can I do the running? Yes. Can I do the pull-ups? Yes. And then the other stuff, the double unders, is really quick. So it says the first run under 3:30. So that's a 600 meter. Yeah, I think I could do that. Second run under 2 minutes, and the last run, and the pull-ups. First round of pull-ups under 2 minutes. Yeah, so 15 strict pull-ups will not take me 2 minutes. So that one right there is going to be a kind of like the where are you in this workout? If you don't have strict pull-ups or can't do 15 in 2 minutes, then yeah, you need to be adjusting that. So maybe you're looking at intermediate. That's 5 of them are going to take me, I could do all 5 of them and just be done with it. So let me turn this off real quick. Okay, so you need to make a call. What is it going to look like to you, and how do you keep moving so that you're hitting the stimulus and not just hitting the movements, right? So the movements are important, but the stimulus is more important in terms of tomorrow. The movements are important for today, but as you stack up the workouts, you need to be following a well thought out program, and that's what these guys are doing. So we follow it because it's well thought out. So you can actually see the video you would get on Monday. It's right here, and then let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, every day there's a CrossFit Affiliate Programming Coaches video. It's on YouTube, so you could probably actually go see it if you wanted to walk through it. Okay, so that's what's going into it. Now, let me take a pause there and go into the kiosk. Let me show you. Let's see. I guess I'll just pick workout and then I'll change it. Okay. So I'm going to make this, we're going to add a results board, and we're going to do it for, I don't know, let's go, maybe last Monday was a cool workout. I don't remember what it was. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to pick, I was probably there at 6 a.m. or 7:30. Maybe 7:30. What? Did I not put my information in Monday, 20th? I was there at the gym. Huh. What I did not... That's weird. I forgot to log my results. Okay, well, I'll just show it to you right now. Okay, so let's say Monday at 7:30. So let's type in Andy, find Andy McCann, boom, sign in. Okay, there I am at the top now. All right, so this workout, I'm going to click on RX time. It was, oh, yeah, that was the, wasn't that the toes to bar and the other thing? Oops. Let's see. Let me go actually look at, I'm going to add another panel so we can look at the workout. Workout from Monday the 20th. It was toes to bar and something. Oh, toes to bar and wall ball shots. That's it. I was there and did that, and I changed the toes to bar out for something else. But, okay, so this is a good one. The workout says I'm supposed to do descending order by 3, 21 reps, 18 reps, 15, and so forth, down to 3 reps of toes to bar and wall ball shots. I know my stomach doesn't feel great when I do that many toes to bar. And they said, hey, finish it between 7 and 12 minutes. I know that's not going to happen for me. So I knew immediately I was going to substitute that toes to bar for something else. I think I was at the 6 a.m. because I remember Josiah saying, hey, these are some options I'd like you to think about. I'm like, sure. Oh, you know what? I went to the evening class on that. I think I coached the 4 o'clock and then went to the 5 o'clock. Is that right? Haha, there I am, and I didn't put anything in. So I'm going to tell you to log your scores, and I totally didn't log it. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. I'll show you. Okay, so yeah, sorry, a little brain fart there. I can't remember what I do throughout the week. Okay, I was coaching the 4 o'clock, and then I did the 5 o'clock. And I knew, yeah, I'm going to be subbing out these toes to bar. Wall ball shots, no problem. I look back at the intended stimulus, and it says, hey, we want large or unbroken sets. Yeah, I could do that, but I like doing the, for the 21, I like doing 11 and 10. And then the 18, I would do like 10 and 8, right? So I like to do a bigger set and then a smaller set. And I did finish it, I think I finished at 11:59 or 11 something. I know it was under the time. Man, I could have sworn, I guess I didn't click save. But anyway, so am I doing it RX or am I doing it intermediate? Well, it depends. I'm not doing toes to bar, and I didn't do knees to chest. I could have done that, but I wanted to do something a little bit harder. What did I do? Candlesticks. Is that harder than knees to chest? Maybe, I don't know. So I didn't want to put, well, I did intermediate, but I upped it because I don't know. Some people it's easier and sometimes it's harder. An easier one is say, like, let's say in the wall ball shots. I'm supposed to do, in this case, it was a wall ball shot with a 14-pound wall ball. I did a 20-pound wall ball. Okay, so that pushes me back up into the RX. I'm going to say, all right, I did RX, but I scaled it. So I'm going to go to this RX option right here, and I'm going to click on it and do 11:59, and I'm going to click scaled because I did candlesticks. Candlesticks? I don't know. Whoop, candlestickas. And hit save. Okay, so I'm not gonna score the intermediate because I didn't do that. And then toes to bar, I did actually do a couple toes to bar to show people, so I'll put in there I did 3 as written. And then I'm not gonna score anything at home because I did it at the gym, right? There's a check mark for did you do the stretching? Yep, I actually did stick around and do that, so I can click the check marks on that. There we go, and save. And cancel. Cool. So now I've got stuff entered, and I got it entered correctly. Do I need to do anything for the intermediate? No, because I didn't do that. Which one do I pick? Well, look, I did scaled, so it doesn't really matter. I'm moving out of the leaderboard. So when we go back and look at the leaderboard, what I'm doing is I take a picture of the top whatever that fit on the leaderboard, and I send them, hey, well done. So if I go here and click on leaderboard for that same day, the 20th, you can see RX. We got Nick, Jason, Paul, and that's it. So they did as written. And then the females, we got Tomoko, Grace, did it as written. And so then you have a scaled version for some of the people, like Matt, he said he did knees to chest. Now, I like this. I bet you he did a login for both of these. Yep, he did. Now, I love that. So which way is correct? Actually, Matt did it 100% correct. So Matt Janda, well done. So he said, okay, look, I did knees up. I scaled the intermediate, right? I'm sorry. I scaled the RX because I did knees up, but he still did the 20-pound wall ball. So he wanted to make a note in here to say, hey, I did that. Remind myself, I did the 20-pound wall ball, but I did knees up, right? Knees to chest. Though, when you go to the intermediate, he said, hey, I did it as written. Now, I know he used a 20-pound wall ball because we talked about it. And what he could have done there is click the dot button because he did it more, right? Or made a note for himself right here. It says, hey, I did more. I did the 20-pound wall ball. So we got Mike, Kim, and John, and Pete. If you look for me on this list, I am going to be in the scaled section for the RX. Yeah, there, at 11:59 because I did the candlesticks. Does it really matter what you put in there? No, you don't have to track it. It's just good for you. So I can look at this squiggly line over here and see a chart of, hey, this is what I've done in terms of toes to bar. So it gives me a whole list of things that I did to show that I can do some toes to bar. So I have a 15, I have a 12, 3 sets of 8. So how many should I do? Did I have 1 set of 30? I probably didn't like that. If I actually go back to that, was there some notes? Can I hover over it? No. So there's 52 items on toes to bar, so I'm not going to go through all those. Wow, what is the 11th? So 2017 is when I started adding toes to bar in there as a option for you to fill up. But this is why we do that. So now you have an idea of how to add this up and how to put it into the program or the scoring so that you get to see what matters to you, okay, over the long run. I know many people are like, I don't want to see my stuff. It's embarrassing. I know it's not. It's just everybody feels that way. Nobody cares. They want you to grow. Everybody is on your side. It's just a weird feeling. You're like, oh no, people are gonna not like it. Okay, so now here's a complicated one. I have the next workout for Wednesday is Diane. That is a deadlift and handstand push-ups. So the way they write it, I've got Diane with a couple options, and Diane does not have those options. So I am gonna go over here. I'm gonna type in Diane. And see if I have an altered one. Yep, Diane altered. I sure do. What is it? I don't know. I'm going to grab it and slide it over here and see if it looks like the intermediate at all. Okay, I like this. So they've got for intermediate deadlift at a lighter weight and then dumbbell shoulder press. My Diane alternate is not that. So I'm going to take there. So I'm going to delete the one that I had created. I'm going to delete it out of there. I'm going to grab a one-time exercise, slide it in here, and call it Diane Intermediate, because this is what they've decided to call it. So it'll be Diane Int. And then I'm going to grab the intermediate section, copy, and I'm going to paste it in there. So now we have an official Diane Intermediate. Now look up here, it says, hey, we're scoring for time. I know that. So I'm going to go back and change scoring for time. I'm going to give you scaled, as written, or the dot, which again would be an RX Plus, though we're not using it right now. I'm going to go to the CrossFit affiliate page, look for Wednesday, and it says, hey, this is a November CrossFit affiliate benchmark. So cool, we know we're doing it. The last time we did it was in June. Diane will come up. Diane Intermediate doesn't exist like that because I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, right? I was still trying to come up with some way to make this work so we could track more stuff for you. Why do we do it? Because tracking is great. You don't know what you eat unless you track it. You don't know what you do and how you've improved unless you track it. And if you're like, Andy, I don't know if I'm getting any better. I'm like, let's look at the data. If you don't put the data in, then it's just harder to say. Because in CrossFit, when you are fitter, you're going to go harder and you'll do more and you'll be just as tired. So if you go by feeling, I feel tired. Well, of course you do because you did more. If you go by, well, I guess a way you could go by is your pant size. That's usually going to shrink a bit. Your weight will probably stay the same because we're adding muscle, but you are removing fat, right? So your pant size would change. So that's one, I guess, really good way to kind of look at that. All right, so I'm going to go back to the workouts. Let's see. I've got Diane Intermediate. Scaling, no scaled for time. I'm going to hit save. Right now, it is just a one-time workout. It'll never be saved. It's not going to show up ever again. I'm going to change that. So let me change this first. So in Diane, I'm going to delete out all this extra information and I'm going to paste in the intended stimulus. Hey, you should do sub 10 minutes. Advanced athletes may finish in sub 3. If you can really nail the handstand push-ups, then yeah. Moderate deadlift load. So what is it? 185 shouldn't be that crazy heavy. And you should be able to complete the first round in doing the set of 21. So by 4 minutes. So you should be able to finish the first set in under 4 minutes. If so, then you're going to be in the right time frame. So I'm looking at this going, 185, can I do that? The answer is yes, but I'm not a very big fan of handstand push-ups. I don't like the way it makes it feel on my neck. And we did some pressing the other day, and my neck felt it on the press or the push jerks, push press push jerk. So I'm going to shy away from that. I could do them super slow, like a negative or a very strict handstand push-up, but it's probably going to push me out of that 4 minute zone. So I have to really decide here. Is it worth it to me to be upside down and get that pressure? I don't know. What is the intermediate? Well, it says instead of on the intermediate of being, I copied the wrong thing. No, intermediate is, let me double check. We go forward over here, Wednesday, intermediate. Yeah, still handstand push-ups, just less of them. So I don't like that. This is where I'm going to make a call. Hey, if you're not into handstand push-ups, simply doing less of them may not be the answer. It could be on the intermediate, you move to the dumbbell press, right? So do I change this and say, hey, we should do a dumbbell press? I don't know. I think the coaches are going to read it and see, hey, dumbbell press is an option, and we all know that it's a good option for handstand push-up. So I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to say Dian Intermediate, and I'm going to click on the reuse, and now it's got Dian Intermediate as a reusable option. Boom, it's in there. So that'll be something that we can use forever, and we can score against ourselves. All right, post-workout, accessory work, got it. The stretching afterwards, got it. There's that at-home option, got it. Okay, so something that I forgot to mention on Tuesday, if you notice right here, it says skill work, pre-workout skill work. So I have to take this and drag it to the top. I know they don't do that. Why? I don't know. They could, it would be super easy for them too, but they don't. Typically, the pre-workout stuff lends itself to what we're about to do in the workout. If there's a post sort of skill, then it's like, I don't know, like let's say they do rope climb. It's because rope climb is coming up later in the week. They're going to give you an opportunity to do some practicing after you've already done the workout. Okay. So we move on to Thursday. I know you're thinking, Andy, this is a lot of work. This video is already going for 32 minutes for this video or this podcast. Does it take you this long to do it? No, it's pretty fast. I just click, and I don't talk anybody through it. But I wanted to give you guys the idea of like what's actually happening when I do this. So I'm going to do the rest of the week. We're almost done. I'll go a little bit quicker. I'm going to lean into a little bit more on why I do what I do to hit that stimulus, right? Okay, so this one says on Thursday. Let me move forward on the affiliate page. We're on Thursday, and this is on Thursday. We have got a 20-minute AMRAP, 500-meter row, single arm kettlebell front rack lunge, woo, and then the other side. So, and 15 ring rows. Wow, that is a good thing I put all the rings back up. Intermediate is same thing, but the kettlebell weight drops. Now, this is something that I do check. It's a 35-pound for the ladies and 53-pound for the guys. That's our red and black. That's totally cool. That's what we have. Why is it 53? I don't know. I think it's a 50 or 25 kilogram kettlebell, and 25 comes out to 53 pounds, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so then I look at the next one. The intermediate is a 20-pound kettlebell. We have that, and then 35 pounds. Cool. We've got those, and that's all set. Then it says you're going to walk back and forth, one arm and then the other, and the 15. So a problem might be, I don't know if I have enough rings for everybody in a row. I think I've got 9 setups, so possibly. That just means you got to swap in and out with somebody. It shouldn't be a big deal, but it could be. This would be an easy day to scale it up to do hamsters and pull-ups, though we just did the other day, so maybe you don't want to do that. Okay, so we have pull, then lunge, and another pull, right? Pull on the row and pull on the lunge. You know what I forgot to do on that other day? I did not put in there any of the for reference. So let me do that real quick. So we knew it was Dian, which is handstand push-ups and deadlift. So I'm going to grab the section header, put it after the stretching but before the at-home workout. I'm going to say for reference. And yeah, I always go back and look because I always forget something. Deadlift, slide that in there. So it is, I think the first round is 15. Does this start? No, it starts at 21. So I'm going to put in there, did you do, I don't know, one set of 21? You probably did them all. Maybe not. I don't know. But you can adjust that. And then handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups. It is also 21. So I don't know if anyone's going to do 21 straight. So, I'm just going to do the max set. So it says, what's your max set? Maybe you did do 21. So we're not going for weight. We're going for reps. So I got that in there, and then there's a dumbbell press, but it's scaled, so we're going to leave that alone. Okay, going back to Thursday's workout, I need to get rid of, this just gets it less clutter. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of beginner and, masters. I'm going to go into the CrossFit affiliate program, look for the intended stimulus, and copy that out, right? So I'm going to copy it, go back over here. I'm going to drop it into the workout. I'm going to take out the intermediate, cut. I'm going to call this 20. So it's 251106 or 06 RX. I'm going to grab a one-time exercise, drop it underneath. Then I'm going to paste in the intermediate. I'm going to grab the name of that workout. I'm going to change it to intermediate, so it's named the same except for intermediate. And then what was the scoring? It was rounds and reps. So I'm going to change that to rounds and reps. And then do the scaled as written and the dot. Again, the dot being RX Plus if I ever wanted to use it. It's a placeholder, basically. Okay, now I got them in there. But they're just one-time workouts. Wodify will never say it or save it because it doesn't know what the one-time workout is. This is where the magic happens. I click reuse. And so it's, hey, do you want to reuse this workout and call it 251106 RX? Yep, sure do. So it's in there. Then the same thing for the intermediate. Yes, I want to use that. So if it ever comes back up, we can see it. This is how I'm giving you the ability to track over time. We don't repeat workouts all that much, but if we do, this is going to allow us to see it. It's just a click of a button, 2 clicks. I can do that for you guys, right? So, okay, so we got those 2 workouts. Now I need to look at the stretching. It's after, and then I need to put in the section header for references. Like, hey, what did we do? This is a really big reference. There's a 500-meter row. We all know what that is. So I'm going to have us grab that bad boy and slide it in there. You can even set the rower up to remember your 500-meter row. So when you're done with the workout, you can come back and put the time in there. Okay, so we've got row. I'm not going to do the walking lunges, and then ring rows. I'm not going to have it marked that either. So there we go. That's it for this one. It's all set up and ready to go. Got the score, that home, and there's no pre or post stuff, so perfect. Then we have Friday. Oh, actually, I was going to tell you what I would do. Okay, so looking at this workout, 500-meter row, single arm, kettlebell, front rack lunge with a 53-pound. Yep, I can do that. It might take me a bit of time. We'll see. The ring row, not going to be a problem at all. It says feet positioned directly under the where the handles are. That's the hardest type of ring row we've got. And then intermediate says, hey, you can move yourself back. So the intended stimulus, 4 to 6 rounds. I have 20 minutes. Let me think about that for a second. Row in under 3 minutes. Yeah, row 500 meter will take me about 2 minutes. The lunges, I can perform all those unbroken. Yeah, there's probably a break when I turn around. That's exactly what it says. And the ring rows, all 15 of them in 1 to 3 sets. The first one is going to be, I'll do 15, no problem, and then I'll probably break it up after that. So according to that, I'm going to say yes, I will probably get, just like they're asking, 4 to 6 steady-paced, consistent rounds. Yep, I can do that. So I will probably do this particular workout as prescribed. Hardest part, I think, is going to be holding your arm up in that front rack single dumbbell. That's going to be an awkward position. I can't wait to look forward to that. So why we do that is to create imbalance, to force your body to stabilize with an imbalance, therefore creating more balance, right? That's why we do that. Okay, so then we got Friday. Friday's workout is 4 time. We've got toes to bar and box jumps, 5 rounds. All right, so I already know toes to bar hurts my stomach, but 5 at 15 is 75 of them, so not terrible. And at 15 at a time, I could probably do that. It's box jumps. I'm not going to jump on the box. That really doesn't feel good to my knees, so I'm already going to go down to intermediate. So it says 15 hanging leg raises. I may do a combination and say, I'll do some hanging leg raises and some toes to bar. So I'm going to have both of them. Box jumps, they lowered the box. So look at this. They got a 16-inch box. We don't have a 16-inch box. So the lowest we got is, I guess they could stack some plates. So that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do, this is where I'm making a call. We don't have a 16-inch box. I'm going to change it. I'm going to go in here and say edit. We're going to change intermediate to be the exact same thing, except it's going to be, I'm going to change it to steps. So we're going to take the RX version. So it was 15 box jumps. Yep. I'm just going to paste that. Whoops. Son of a gun. I'm going to paste that out. And then I'm going to say box steps. Yep, I changed it. Why? One, we don't have the gear for that. And two, most people that aren't going to jump aren't jumping because the box is too tall. They're not jumping because something's wrong with their knee or they don't like that jumping motion. So it's going to be a step. Yeah, that's my call. You could still scale up, right? Click RX as written on this one, or hit the dot if you wanted to say, hey, I did box jumps on this, and just make a note. Okay, I am going to remove the beginner and the masters. I will find the intended stimulus on my, whoops, that's not it. Intended stimulus over here on this other page. Copy, paste it in, and I'm going to cut out the intermediate and then add RX as a title or in the title. So I've got it. I'll grab a one-time exercise, slide it over. I'm going to paste in, whoops, not there. That's the wrong place. Not in the comments. Paste in intermediate. I'm going to copy the name out and change it to intermediate. Again, I do this all because if it comes back up, we want to be able to see the data, right? The scoring of this one is for time, right? So let me change this to time, scaled, as written, and dot, save. Okay. So we've got them in there, but they're still just one-time workouts. So I need to click on the reuse, and it's going to ask me, do I want to use the name I gave it? Of course I do. And then I'll do that for the intermediate as well. So this now gives you ability to see it over time, okay? So there is a post-workout accessory thing that's in there. There's some stretching, and then I'm going to grab the for reference section header and put it down here and do a for reference. Good. And we knew that it was toes to bar and box jumps. We don't typically do box jumps. Actually, you know what? I'll see if I even have box jumps in there. That'd be interesting. Maybe it records the height. But we do have toes to bar. So I'll grab toes to bar and slide it right there. Whoop. Went to the wrong spot. What was your biggest set of toes to bar? And I'm going to move it up one under the for reference. Okay. And I was going to check out the box jump. Box jump. Oh, there's box jumps. Max height on the box jump. That'd be interesting. We used to do that. That was a dumb one. We would stack stuff and just keep jumping until you tripped. So yes, you always stopped with, I tripped. And it could be disastrous. Okay, so that's how I build out the workouts. This is how you get the data so that you can see it. How you would log it in is exactly like we just talked about. Why you log it in is to give you the power of history to know how you're doing and how you're improving. Also, it's fun to see who you compete next to. So if I'm looking at back at the other day when we did what was I on the 20th? If I look at that, I know that I work out similar to some of these people. And I can check out their scores and say, oh, that's what they did. This is what I can do. Let me change the date to, I don't know, let's do the 22nd. I don't remember what that was. Maybe it was a lift or something. And I got to change this one too. To the 22nd, I said. So we got Wednesday the 22nd, apply. I'm looking at the leaderboard. And, oh, I do remember this. This was, let me pull it up so you guys can see it. I'm going to look at the workout. There you go, apply. The full workout, boom. Okay, so it was row 250 meters, back to back to back. So everybody could have done this one RX, right? Now, if you look, is there even an intermediate? No, because it says intermediate is the same as RX. Just go ahead and row. So you put in your time, your cumulative time. You can see how people pulled on this one. So if I go down to, where was I, like 11 minutes? So, or 10 minutes. So I say, hey, Mike Kim and Josh rode about the same as me. So I need to be watching for them in other workouts to see how we do with each other, right? I know Mike is taller and I move a little bit faster. So the row favored him, but so wall balls probably favor him as well. But if we did, I don't know, if we were running, I might be able to eke it out a bit because I'll move a little bit quicker. Now, he's got a bigger stride. So I have to think about all these things. So do I 100 compare myself against Mike? The answer is no. Comparison is a thief of joy. It gives me a ballpark thing to look at to say, hey, how would I do? Now, I do know this, that I went at 6 a.m. and he went at 5 p.m. So he could probably look at mine and go, all right, Andy, you did 10 minutes. I'm going to knock it off by 10 seconds. I love that. This is where the competition and that edge thing comes into play. There's no better way to make you work out harder than to say 3, 2, 1, go and put a time to it. The other way to make it work better is to know that you've got a buddy that just did a thing and you want to beat him just a tiny bit. Or put you head to head, right? So if we're going together, we're going to push each other in friendly competition, not asshole competition, right? Okay, there are still 2 more days of the weekend. I'm going to do that on my own. But this is what I do all the time to get the scores or the Wodify to look correct for you guys to put in scores so that we can track these results. I know, so this video and podcast is 45 minutes long. It does not take me 45 minutes. I'd probably say for the entire week, I can be done in about 15 minutes. And I usually go back and double check it because there's always something I miss. All right, so why we do what we do is because it's going to help you look good naked and make you harder to kill. That's the pure and simple. That's what CrossFit does. It also does it in the best time frame I've ever seen. Not only do you not have to take a lot of time in the gym, you get to have fun with people you enjoy in the gym, and it's over and done. I like going in the morning because the rest of the day gets crazy. If I do it in the morning, it's checked off. It's the best for me. It's the best way to do it. Now, I like Christy said, now that it's not hot, I'll be in the afternoon. I like it better. I'm like, hey, I like that. You adjust them based on how crazy hot it is. In Georgia, it can get pretty damn hot. So adjust as you need to, but make sure it's in the schedule to get it done. And if you find yourself with a hard, like I just can't, then it goes to the morning. Doing it in the morning is going to make it happen because the rest of the day is not going to catch up to you. So we got a 5 a.m. class, a 6 a.m. class, 7:30 a.m., and an 8:30 a.m. We also have open gym. You could literally come whenever you want. You could come at 4 a.m. if you want. I will never see you there, but you could. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it makes some sense. Not every owner will do this. They'll just let it pop up and go. I specifically do this because I know there's value to it for you. I also don't change CrossFit's programming because I know it works. And you would say, wait, Andy, if I did more, wouldn't it be more better? Sometimes, but now you got to be really intentional about your rest. But shouldn't I be lifting and doing extra? If you want, you could do that. But when you mix something like hypertrophy with CrossFit, you're getting the worst of both worlds. Hypertrophy is like back and bi on Monday, chest and tri on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, and then you repeat. The reason for that is you're giving your body a chance to build back up what you broke down. CrossFit is not about that. CrossFit is about helping you look good naked, which is moving all the time, so you're burning a lot of calories, and becoming harder to kill, which is creating a better muscular and cardiovascular system and a neurological adaptation, a brain-body connection, so you can rub your tummy and pat your head, right? To help you go well into those years. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's the best hack I have ever found. I am passionate about this. If there was something better and easier and faster and more productive, I would do it. The only reason I do CrossFit is it works. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. I can tell you with 100% certainty, this stuff works if you show up, and it works even better if you let me adjust your eating habits just a tiny bit. All right, guys. Hey, this is Andy McCann here in Woodstock, Georgia, where I own CrossFit Garage. If you need help, I am here for you. We are here for you. If you're local, come to the gym. If you're not, yeah, give me a call, give me a text, an email, whatever. I am happy to help you out and help you find a gym that's local to you. Y'all take care.